Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining in today. I'm Siddharth, I'm a community manager at Aviyel. Aviyel is on a mission to help open source projects sustain by building communities around them. We're also trying to find monetization avenues that will help incentivize these contributors that help in the growth of the project. We recently released a light paper that talks about how we are planning to make use of Web3 to build sustainable open source communities. I'd recommend you read that and let us know what you think about that. I'll drop the link in the chat shortly. Today with us, we have Khushi Sharma, who's an Associate Product Manager Intern at SAWO Labs and also an incoming Summer Intern at Google. Khushi will talk to us about her journey and how you can also break into product management. Without much ado, it's over to you, Khushi. All the best.
So, hi everyone, thank you so much for joining. So, that gave a quick introduction about me. Firstly, I would like to extend a heartfelt welcome to everyone present here. So, my name is Khushi, and today I'll definitely be expressing my views over how to break into product management. I'll be talking about my journey and what exactly I did to break into this very large field, which is product management. So, before I go and introduce myself a little bit more, I would also like to extend my gratitude to Joshua, Siddharth, and the whole Aviyel team to have me here. It's a great pleasure for me to be present with you all today. And without a lot of talking, I'll quickly go to the next slide. A little bit about me. I am working as an associate product management intern at SAWO, which is a startup which focuses on bringing up passwordless authentication. I am also an incoming summer intern at Google. I have been a Generation Google Scholar for the APAC region and have also been associated with Google as in Gold I am Remarkable Facilitator. If you would like to connect with me, I'll drop my social media handles after the session. Yeah, make sure we connect and would be great to have you out there in the social network. Fun fact, I'm a big Potterhead. I love Harry Potter movies, Harry Potter as a whole, and everyone who knows me, I think, knows this fact about me. I've read the books around I don't know how many times, and so Harry Potter is my safe space. So whenever I want to go to a place where I don't want to be judged and I just want to enjoy, so that is this place. So Hogwarts is my safe space, and Harry Potter is my safe place. Amazing. So I think that's it. We have bonded enough. And I'd also love to know if you have any fun facts about you. So you can drop them out in the chat and, we can all bond like that. Amazing. So the session, so I really, really believe in practical based learning. And I love it when my learning is purely based on facts and anecdotes. Very sorry. And for today's session, we'll try to follow the same approach. So I've prepared the whole deck in a way that you will be able to implement everything on a practical basis immediately after the session ends. And that's what matters, right? I think when you learn facts or when you get to know about facts, you can implement that in your real life, and that makes a lot of sense because that makes the learning easy. So today in this whole session, we're going to cover 4 questions mainly. First, what is product management? Second is, who does product management? Third one is going to be about what does product managers do, and the fourth one is going to be about how does one become a product manager. So before diving deep into answering these questions, I would also love to start with my personal experience of breaking into product management. So how did I get into PM? So, a quick recap. I have been involved with a lot of communities and a lot of technology based initiatives. So, I remember my first initiative, or my first tech initiative to be involved with, was Scholarship Track. So, I was involved there as a project manager. And then, soon enough, in 2 months, I was promoted to the project manager lead of the whole India chapter, which was a big thing. So, I should say this is the initial starting phase for me where I got the boost that I've been wanting to. And yeah, so I was involved with this particular initiative, which was Scholarship Track. And I think it really involved a lot of technology driven areas which helped me get the boost that I've been wanting to get. And this is the perfect start for me because I learned how to lead a team. I learned how to work in a team, more importantly. After that, I transitioned to community for a while, and I did a community internship at Zubi, which is also an edtech startup revolving around emerging technologies. After that, soon enough, I started my own community, which was Equicode, which was exactly about cultivating a diverse learning environment for everyone and also promoting beginner centric tech culture, which I thought was missing at that point. So I think Equicode was the perfect opportunity for me to learn a lot of industry driven skills. And after that, I took a break of like 2 to 3 months from any initiative or internship, and I prepared myself because I was transitioning from dev to product, because I realized that dev is probably too much for me, and I wasn't that happy as I would have been in product. So I explored a lot about product, learned a lot of articles, learned a lot of blogs, saw a lot of videos on YouTube, and talked to a lot of people from the community, from the industry. So in one fact or another, the community or my experience in community was helping me to get to know more about product, right? So after that, I landed an internship at SAWO Labs as an associate product management intern. And yeah, I think that was the perfect head start for me. It has been the perfect head start for me to get into product, because and I always say this, if you want to learn about product management, the best way is to get into a startup and just keep exploring, because a startup gives you the perfect chance and perfect opportunity to explore, to get that ownership, but also to get the correct guidance and mentorship from the people who have been there in the industry, right? And yeah, it has been a perfect journey for me. I'm still interning there, and Sava is like the best place I've ever found. Um, and I think a large part of the fact that I'll be learning in Google, I can owe that to Savo as well, because I've learned how to how to be in that whole space. So yeah, next comes up Google. So I'll be interning there, and very excited. But this is a very short glimpse of how is it like how did I get into PM, and not talking a lot about this now. So let's directly get into what we are here for today. So answering our first question, what is product management, right? So on a Saturday later evening, you are here with me understanding about product management. So that itself says a lot about you. And that itself says that you're really interested in this field. So I want to make sure that you understand this very clearly. You understand what is product management. So if you're a person who might have started exploring product management, so this is the diagram that you must have seen somewhere on one or two another blog post or one or two websites or on Twitter, on LinkedIn, because this is the most common definition that we'll get to hear about product management, and that's for what I'm here, right? Um, I'll also be telling you this, but with this, I'll be telling you some things that might not be referred to everywhere, that might not be defined everywhere. So I'm just here to simplify what you already know. And I think, yeah, that's what this session is also going to be about. So if we can see here, product management is the convergence of user experience, technology, and business. So in one way or another, product management incorporates three fields, which is technology, user experience, and business or technical elements. And yeah, this definition is completely true in all of its sense, because I believe that. So let's get to what is a product. So I believe a product can be defined as anything that can be offered to a market, uh, where you can satisfy the need of the people around there in the market or the customer. So for example, if I am able to satisfy your need in any form of market consumption, so I can also create a product out of it. And that is what a product is. And when we talk about product management, so we come to these three terms, which are very important in their individual facets. So the first one is user experience. Now, what is user experience? User experience is all about representing the customers inside the company. Exactly. So when I say that product management is the convergence of these three fields, so as a product manager, I have to represent the customer, or I have to represent the users inside my company. And in these three fields, I'm not going to define what these three fields are, but why are these three fields important as a product manager, right? So as a product manager, it's my responsibility to represent the needs and wants of my customers inside the company. Let's talk about the next facet, which is business. Now, whenever I talk about business, um, it's all about the profits, and it's all about the business value of the product. So, as a product manager, it's my responsibility that I should have some strategies in which I can maximize the business value of the product. So one has to understand the business aspect of a product in order to get the most out of it, in order to get profits and revenue. And it's very important in this particular aspect. Then we come on the third facet, which is technology. Now, it's another important factor, because with any technical product, you have to be able enough to understand the product, right? And if it's based on technology, then you should be, I'm not saying because that's the role of a developer to code and to build a product out of technology, no. But if you're a product manager and the product is a technical product, you have to be able enough to understand what the product is about, right? Because that's how, otherwise how you're going to represent it. So that is why technology plays another important factor. You are not a developer, but on the other side, you are the CEO of the product. So I really like this saying, which is a product manager is the CEO of the product and the janitor of the product, because we get to lead and own the product like a CEO, but we also got to work on the product like a janitor, finding bugs out of it, testing it, and all of it plays a very important part. And that's why I say CEO, but a janitor of the product as well. So I hope you're enjoying the session, and I'll just take a quick through on the questions. Google, congratulations. I think I'll take the questions at the end only. I think we're going good so far. So let me again go to the presentation. Yes. So that is it about. So that's about it. To understand product management, let's actually learn it from the experts. So this was all about the common definition and some hidden facts about it. But so according to Josh Hellman, who's a partner at Greylock, he says that product management is the art of helping your team and company ship the right product to your users. So user experience comes here because it's a very important part of the picture, and understanding their needs and representing the customers in your product is a very important responsibility as a product manager. So I think the definition is based completely on user experience. Another good definition is product management is building, communicating, helping, simplifying, collaborating, sometimes crying, and leading. I think this is a very beautiful definition of product management, because this is actually my life, right? My day as an APM, and I should say this. So these are different emotions of product management. You build stuff, you communicate, you cry, and you lead. So another important facet. Now, I do not want to state pure facts. I also want to base it on my practical aspect. So let's understand it from a real life example. The example is very simple. I'm hanging out on a good fine evening, and I think I want to hang some paintings in my room. I already have some inspiration, and I can just call a carpenter to come and do that. Now, if we see the problem, the carpenter will just say it like, I have the position where I want to drill a hole. I'll just force down a nail and I'll hang the painting. That's pretty simple, right? But if we take a product manager and we see this up, so I know this is not what a product manager will do, but because I wanted to base it on your life setting, this is a pretty simple example that everyone must have had at least once in their life. So from a PM perspective, the problem is this, I want to hang down the paintings. And another sub problem to that is drilling a hole in the wall. That's my first problem, right? And this is how I will see it. Now, the most important thing a product manager does is um, understand the underlying aspects of the problem. So, what are the different factors that I'll have to carefully think about whenever I'm solving my problem? In my case, I'll see what are the tools I'll need, what is the speed at which the hole is drilled, what is the accuracy of the drill, like is it completely inside, and how is it going to do? What is the reliability of the device used? What are the operations costs that I'll have to manage? What is the price of the device? What is the minimum amount of time that I'll need? And so many more. These are just a few factors that I could even think of, but I can count like innumerable factors in this problem. So that was about product management. I hope you understand what we do. We take a problem, we try to find all the underlying aspects of it, and we try to solve it according to what my customer will love, right? And I make it a point. So I just focus on user experience, business, and technology. So these are the three words that you will be hearing a lot. Another fact is myths about product management. So whenever you are learning about product management, it's very important to understand what not is product management. First myth is that product management is equal to product management, which is actually wrong. So it's not project management. Project management is something which is completely difficult because the products are usually conceived and developed by people on a whole scale. Whereas a project is a very temporary endeavor, which is actually completely undertaken for a unique service, right? Second myth is that product management is equal to product marketing. This is absolutely wrong. Product marketing is another aspect, product management is another aspect. Third is product management is purely technical. Wrong. I told you we're not a developer. If we would be focusing on everything technical, we would have been a developer. Do we need to understand technology? Yes, but do we have to go and try to build the product ourselves and just being completely technical in that? Absolutely no. So these are the three myths that everyone should take care about whenever they're starting out. Now the second question is, what does a product manager do? So I'll quickly take you through what is my day as an APM. So I'll have to reshare my screen because I want to show you something, and I think that would be quite interesting. So I'll reshare it. Amazing. So we were talking about my day as an APM. I wake up and I think the first thing that happens is that I take a list of all the problems that I was given the previous day, and I try to take out the things that I've already done and all the things that I have to do the next time, right? So a very important term that you will hear in a product manager's life is PRD, or a product requirement document. So I wanted to show and I wanted to show like a live one which I have made during my internship. So this is a PRD which I made. Now, what is a PRD? PRD is basically made for any feature request that I'm putting out to the developer team or to the technical team. So for example, this is the feature request which says input field autofocus. So for example, if there is a form and if there is an input field in that, so I just want that whenever that form is loaded, so automatically the focus should be on the input email field. So we'll get to understand more. But what is the main sense of a PRD? PRD is actually made for any feature request, and it is made for the technical team. So that, for example, if I'm a developer and I'm given this, so this document has A to Z everything that I need to understand the feature, to build the feature, to understand why is it needed, how am I going to use it, A to Z everything. And for example, if we can see here, product feature owner Khushi, which is me, approval status pending, which means it still needs to be approved. So who is going to approve it? My manager, which is Ayush and Naman. So they're going to approve it, and once it gets approved, it gets to the technical team. You can also say the sprint, which means which roadmap is it going to go in. Okay, so let's quickly try to see what is it. So it has the target audience, which what is the target audience for which this feature will be needed? What are the use cases for this feature? Which means that how is it going to come in handy? Like how is it going to be used? So I gave some general use cases, and then I gave a reference use case, which is an example use case. Then what is a problem overview? So which means describe the problem you're trying to solve. Why is it important to our users? What insights are you operating on? Then it has the goals and metrics, and then it has the risks. So this is everything in the problem field. Now in the solution field, so in the solution field, I start by giving what are the key features of this feature request, right? So give an overview of what you are building. So this contains all the list of sub features that is going to go there in the main feature. So these two features are going to go there. This is what the present version looks like. For example, if I show you this, so this is how it looks like right now, and what I exactly need. I have also included that, like what we want, and these are the steps, or like the exact user journey which is going to go for the feature. So I've included 9 steps. Then comes the key flows, which means what is going to be the flow. So we can see that here's the start, and how we integrate the plugin, how we test the product, and the whole flow. And then comes the decision log. So decision log is something that comes in handy. And now here's the testing, or the test cases. So what are the test cases that I need to write up? Now test cases means that whenever a particular situation is coming out, then the feature request, I have to, for example, login pop-up is opened. So what happens when that pop-up is opened? So what is the input? What is the expected result? What is the actual result? That is what comes in this. And then we have the launch plan. For example, what happens when the feature is released? So this document is everything that a developer will need to implement it in real life, or to implement it out there. So this is what a product manager or actually does. So a very small example. I'll quickly come back and share the original slides. Amazing, yeah. So my day, as in APM, it involves a lot of PRDs, definitely. But no. So I've worked as so right now I'm working in the product ops team. So when you're in the core product team, you definitely have to create a lot of feature requests and a lot of PRDs, because you're working out there. But I'm right now working in the product ops team. So I am involved with the daily operations involved. I am involved with the daily operations of the team. How a particular integration is going to come along. What is going to be the pre-launch effect of that? How are we going to launch it? And different strategies involved. So product marketing also comes along, but that is a separate field in ops only, and that is the role of a separate person. So a product marketing usually does that. But I am involved with a lot of product launches, a lot of daily to daily influencer marketing, so a lot of tasks. But a lot of core feature requests comes along in the core product team. So yeah, I think that's, I do not want to wrap it up a lot on this slide. So let's quickly go through what does a product manager do. We definitely go define the vision. So, one part is to define a very concrete vision of a product. Elon Musk is a very important example, because he remains focused on his mission for SpaceX, which is, establishing a permanent human presence on Mars. So I know it's quite a weird example, but I think the intention and the intent of defining the vision is as same as what and how he does. Another one is strategy. And whenever we talk about strategy, I think Jeff Bezos is the perfect example, because whenever you're involved as a product manager, you need to have concrete and definite strategies, and you need to make that work. You cannot just keep planning and do not execute it. So a strategy is what comes in between planning and execution. How are you going to come from this side of the road to that side? How are you going to come from planning to execution? And I think Bezos actually, so Jeff Bezos have already said one time, I remember in an interview, he said, "Your margin is my opportunity." So he said, any competitor's love of margins and other financial ratios, he actually sees there as an opportunity for Amazon to come along, take that feature up, and gain full advantage of that opportunity. So quite a good example. Design, of course, Apple. Steve Jobs, I think Apple made a revolutionary market design when it came up with um, iPhones. And I still remember the first iPhone that they came up with. And I think the whole edge making trademark of Apple is its slick design. So design is also a very fundamental soul of product management. So yeah, but as simple as it, but a simple design can also be made harder. So design, a very misconception about design is, and when anything that looks good is a good design, which is not. When you come into design as a product manager, you have to see about UI and use UX, which is user interface and user experience. So you have to make sure what a customer will like to see and what a customer will understand viably enough. That is a good design. Execution, that's what I was talking about. Stuart Butterfield, Slack. So Slack is a very important term or important platform in any product manager's life. So Slack is genuinely useful. Like almost any team which adopts Slack as their application for communication will be significantly better off when they might have been using any other platform. I think I've already covered this, but key responsibilities, you have to define the product vision, strategy roadmap. You have to manage and prioritize the customer requirements. So sorry. And you have to act as the customer or user advocate. You have to develop a particular positioning of the product, act as a product leader within the company, again CEO and janitor, and want to define what to solve. So I think I've already covered that up until I've come apart. So now the third question that comes around is, so we have got two questions: what is product management and who does product management? Now we are going to come along past lives of a product manager. So so we have got two questions: what is product management and what does a product manager do? Yes, and now we're going to cover who does product management. So who actually can do product management? That is also a significant good question. So that's why I base this upon past lives of a product manager. If you can see this picture and if you can find yourself in any of this role, you can do product management. So past lives of a product manager means if I could have been this in my past life and I'm doing product management. That is exactly what it says. Research, engineering, information sales, customer service, coding, anything. If you find this yourself in this particular conception, then you can do product management. Now, accidental product managers. So let's also see what is this. All these roles can accidentally derive themselves to product management. Developer can actually make a very good technical product manager. Support, marketing, sales, business development, design, UX, project manager, founder. So all these are accidental product managers as well. Now we're going to come along different flavors of a product manager so that you will be able to relate, okay, this is probably the role that I can do, right? So First, the tech PM or the technical product manager. So this is solely based upon technical products, because you can crack that problem, you can give a solution to it, and you can just solve it out there. One good thing about it is also that you can end up working as an engineering manager other than product manager if you're good in tech. So a very strong technical background is needed for this. Designer PM, UI UX, so main basis of the role in user interface and user experience. You need to understand what is the definition of a good product. As I told you, it's not only about what looks good, it's about understanding what users want, what the customers would like to see. So you have to define interactive prototype solutions and understand what a good product is. The business PM, one with a very good analytical skills, because you are the one who has to maximize the business revenue and you has to understand the business aspects of the product. So see the big picture, definitely. And because a business PM is solely individual, so it might be important enough for you to be able to credible enough with design and the tech team. And the next is the growth PM. So growth PM mostly and firmly is involved in handling the growth of a product from 0 to 1 and taking it well along. So you have to understand the clear goals and metrics of your product. And here, experimentation and prioritization is a very important key and a very important factor. And the next type or the next flavor of product management is data product management. So a lot of data analytics and a lot of data related tasks, and definitely you're going to be very much involved in business, product, and sales equally. So yeah, these were some flavors of product management, and if you find yourself relatable with any of these, then boom, you can start your journey now. But how to start that? So let's go to the next question, which is how does one become a product manager? I think till now, you know what is product management, and I feel like I've given you that particular edge where you are like, it's good, right? Where you are like, you want to try this also because you can try this. I'm pretty sure you might have made yourself comfortable with at least one of the roles that I just listed, and that was the whole aim. So coming across to become a product manager, very easy steps. And I cannot provide you a whole roadmap to become a product manager, because no one can. Product management is about experience. Product management is about um, living that moment out there, handling that situation, and then converting that into an experience. Um, I have been into product management for around 4 to 5 to 6 months, and I've seen people who have been there in it for like 1 to 2 years, and how they are handling the teams and how they are handling the whole field is exceptionally amazing. So lots to learn, but if you want to start to become a product manager, so I think these are a few steps. So the first step is obviously to learn PM fundamentals. um, so product management is a great responsibility. Why? Because a product's entire form, attribute, life cycle, from ideation to launch and beyond, can rest on your shoulders. For that reason, it's also a position that demands a lot of time and effort. And you have to be able to understand some basic terms and terminologies, which is important to get to know the PM fundamentals. So one example can be, uh, what are metrics, how to write down good product metrics, or how to define product metrics, right? How to define goals, how to what is a sprint, and these are some common PM fundamentals that one needs to be familiar with, or one would be good in understanding. How to take continuous feedback and a lot of that. So one good way of doing this is to see some common podcasts on YouTube, read a lot of blogs on it, because when do not get in I do not really promote the way of getting into a lot of paid certifications. I feel you can do that once you have at least a little experience and you know that you want to do this. once you're completely made up in your mind that I really, really want to pursue this, so then probably you can take that up. But to get started, just go on YouTube and just start exploring this field. Right? You'll find so many videos out there, and see, watch that. In your free time, maybe just listen to a podcast about product management, and you'll start you'll get to know some terms about it. The second step is getting familiar with the PM process. So you really need to understand which what are the products that your target customers will buy, and you have to learn to ideate and test a minimum viable product. So to get familiar with the PM process, um, you know the basic terms, you know a lot of things, but as you learn each of the steps in product management, b- beginning with strategy and ideating, I think it's very important to also get familiar with the whole process of product management, with the whole flow of product management. So that's another important step. And the third important step is study your line of business and industry. So I took you through a lot of parts. I took you through a lot of different flavors. I took you through a lot of different facets. Now it's upon you which line and which exactly type of industry are you interested in, and you have to select your niche and you have to get into that only, because you cannot do everything. You'll have to pick one specific choice and you'll have to go into that. And once you're done with this, you can start creating your own things. Now, what do I mean by projects here? So, now I know how to create a PRD. Now I know how to analyze a whole product. So I pick a product, I start analyzing that, I start creating feature requests on that. And that because now I learned, I have information, but you have to apply that onto practical basis if you want to grow further. A lot of knowledge will not be useful if it's just there in your head. You have to base it out there on a practical basis. You have to do something out of it, something useful out of it, so that you will be able to show yourself, okay, this is what I did with this piece of information that I got. So once you're done with this step, start cold mailing that. To create a portfolio, to showcase your work, and start cold mailing, start applying to a lot of people, because now you know what it is, right? And I know your question would be, how can I get into it without any previous experience? I got into product management without any previous experience, just on the basis of my skills and my interviews, right? Because if you know your stuff pretty well, no one can stop you from getting that. So yeah, these are the quick 5 steps that you can follow. And here are some resources as well. You can join some communities. I'll share more in the chat, but you can join Product Led Growth by SAWO. You can join Product Hunt and Product School. Pretty amazing communities where you can get started with product management and you can ask you questions, and a lot of industry driven people are there who can help you. Uh, yeah, I think that's it from my side. Thank you so much, and I'm ready to take any questions. Uh,
So the first question is, could you tell us about the interview process at Google? I think this is in relation to the summer internship that you've backed. Could you tell us about that?
Sure. So I think this would not be the exact right place to talk about the whole interview process, about how I landed an internship at Google. But sure, pretty normal stuff, applied through it, and um, got a lot of interviews, was very nervous before it because I already got rejected the first time and I got into it the second time. So I think I can talk more about it maybe on, if you'd like to know more about it, you can maybe connect with me on social media. But yeah.
The next question is about, yeah, is it the responsibility of a product manager to create roadmaps for the product? If yes, what is the process like?
Yes. So I think so. I have what I believe that we're trying to sort out with creating a roadmap for the product is how a sprint is going to go along for any product. So, for example, if I have some feature requests, so I'll put that into the first sprint, and the technical team will do that. So obviously we cannot just say things like that, right? We'll have to sort that out, and that is what a product roadmap is all about. So yes, it's actually one of the responsibility of a product manager, or the product lead, along with his or her team, to manage and get started with a product roadmap, to make sure that the product roadmap is followed upon on time by all the respective teams of any particular company or product. If yes, how is that process like? So I think it's the first step obviously starts by navigating through what different responsibilities are categorized with respect to different teams, right? So obviously when you have 2 to 3 teams, it's very easy. But when you have around 4 to 5 or 6, 7 teams and a lot of team members, you have to take into account all the responsibilities, um, all the any external factor that comes in, and I think it's a process about that, about sorting out the different responsibilities, and creating a roadmap which is adherent and which can be followed up by all the other people. That's pretty much it.
Well, thank you so much for answering that. I think that's all the questions we have for today. But thank you so much, Khushi, for this. I really found this very important and very insightful, and I'm sure the audience picked up a lot of important points from here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Siddharth, for having me. It was a great time, and I hope you all enjoyed it. And if they have any questions, probably you can get me all the questions, and I'll love to answer that.
Yeah, please do get back to Khushi, or send us your questions and we'll forward it to Khushi and we'll get all of them answered. But thank you so much for joining us today. We hope to see you in the next session, and goodbye to you.
Yeah,
Bye.
sure. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
everyone. Bye bye. Thank you for joining in.